Greetings and welcome to my dear Virgo. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. I do welcome you to the channel. If you are new, please like and subscribe as you wish for new material. And welcome back. Otherwise, we are pushing through the year of 2023 quite quickly already. And February is here, so we'll be doing a reading for the energy of Virgo in the month of February, with an emphasis on Mercury with the axis spinning. That would be Mercury and Neptune, so the 6th and the 12th house. Now, we'll be going to the Great Mirror as well in this reading, and that's in the third part of this, so stay tuned for that. We'll also look into a bit of karma as well as an incident within the level of karma that we look into. These are all possibilities. Please take only what you will and use your discretion as needed. So the mystery of the 6th and the 12th axis, that is the axis of Virgo and Pisces, has to do with mutability from earth to water and from the movement of the self to the infinite. Okay, what this allows for in this axis is an access to the ineffable sea of information that is mystical in nature, that is in the 12th house. And with Mercury's assistance, Virgoans can use this axis to understand the riddles and the mysteries that are abstracted in Neptune. Okay, so the infinite as well as mystical significance comes through the guise of another. Okay, and this other tends to be a dreamy individual in which there needs to be terra firma to rely on. That is through Mercury's auspices in the 6th house. Okay, now the interesting thing is that with this, there's a possibility of bringing forward, especially as it pertains to significant others. Virgos have a tendency to bring forward people who are part of some sort of metaphysical or collective in terms of a lineage when it comes to the evolution of the root race, okay, the evolution of mankind, the sort of move towards humanitarian forms, as well as the move towards more divine or mystical forms, is seen through individuals that are significantly related to Virgo. Okay, and the idea here is to renew the cycle, to bring forth the change, and it's very difficult to grasp essentially the abstractions of these individuals that Virgos pull forward. So that is something we're going to look through in the mirror. It's a 9-card spread. Let's go ahead and get started with a bit of karma for the month of February 2020 for the energy of Virgo. Okay, the realm of karma that is being pulled forward here has to do with a path, of the right way of doing things, the path of righteousness, the ability to find truth and also to stand within one's own truth or personal philosophy. This would require a lot of detachment from commitments to reserve one's own resources. Virgos might have, in the month of February, a need to become cold and exacting in their affairs, okay, especially ones that have to do with work, that have to do with the most reasonable sort of affairs, you know, things that matter in terms of realities. And there's a possibility for you to become a master of this through the auspices of Saturn. I'm saying Saturn primarily. And the beauty of Saturn is that through limitation, one can compress and crystallize certain forms in order to create some sort of long-lasting reward or long-lasting return of some sort. And furthermore, there's an ability to sort of compress and also be rid of anything that is extraneous. There's a purgative quality to Saturn that allows for the element of purification to come through erosion or through the tests of time. Okay. So there's an ability here to essentially move forward, I'm seeing, to be inspired to also do things very practically in the month of February. What is this moving towards? It's moving towards the Six of Cups. So I'm seeing here the Six of Cups, the Three of Cups in the reverse, and the Nine of Cups, okay? There's an ability for you to essentially find a way into, it would be the Six of Cups, which would be finding the most authentic by actually compressing your actions, limiting your actions, creating proper boundaries so that your terra firma, your idea of stability maintains itself. There's a conservation element here in the month of February that you might be inspired to do that will actually produce the effect of doing the right thing by actually applying limitations or restrictions, okay? It's very interesting. There also is, once again, the emphasis with the Three of Cups in reverse and the King of Pentacles, the element of purgation and of letting loose that in which you do not need, especially when it comes to your own work or your own dynasty, your own sort of power, your authority. Okay, letting go of things that don't work in terms of behaviors or perhaps unnecessary expenditures of time or resources. This is all sort of pointing to a mode of authenticity that you're going to be going to the future in order to be rid of toxic situations, toxic expectations, okay, when it comes to your practicalities. Now let's move forward into an incident that may occur in the month of February relating to this idea of purification and purgation of the soul. Yeah, what else is emphasized here is the Six. Six comes out pretty heavily in the Cups sequence as well as in the Rod sequence, moving towards the Seven, of course, of Rods. Might be important to note that the very obstacles that you place yourself into, okay, when it comes to your everyday routine, when it comes to your your behaviors, the obstacles you put yourself into will actually serve you in such a way. This has to do with coming up with a frame of mind, okay? When it comes to this frame of mind, this has to do with a humbling of the self. In the month of February, in the beginning of February, there's going to be some sort of ego death, letting go of something, the sun coming through, breaking down the tower of disbelief with the tower of tongues. There's an ability here to reach the Eight of Swords, which allows for a very clear way of thinking that is based on psychological limitations that are self-enforced, so as to create a safe space, okay? This can also be a way of doing things in terms of logic, heavy logic. And this will allow you to push forward on, it would be the second house, your work, to do that in the right way in order to produce the effect of the Six of Swords, or the Five of Swords, rather. So it's a movement from the Eight of Swords to the Five of Swords, Three of Swords showing up here. Three of Cups in reverse. There's something here about Virgo is behaving in a certain way that will help them to manage their resources and time in such a way, in a slow manner, so as to produce the effect that you are coming to a sense of peace of mind in some way, shape, or form. Okay, because the difference here is the Three of Swords, and that usually tends to bring the effect of trepidation, of fear, apprehension in what you do in terms of what you're thinking. There's a possibility here in the month of February, essentially, to sort of glean or to understand, to self-reflect, and to go as you go slowly with your business after some sort of calamity. There's an ability for you to come up with a way of thinking that is going to produce the effect of strength, okay, of stability, of slow moving stability and moving forward in the right direction. So a lot of this has to do with the path, okay, the path of victory. And there's an ability here to essentially raise the crown, raise the mind up to a certain degree so that you can do things with more ease in terms of your resources, your commitments, your most close associates, how to control them, how to work with them, so as to bring the effect of clarity or presence of mind. When it comes to the advice of this, try not to look back. Okay, so we're moving straight into the Great Mirror, which is a 9-card spread devised by the Order of the Twin Sun to see particular karmas that may exist between Virgo and a significant other. We'll go ahead and get started, and I'll also provide some advice in the bridge section to see with a bit more clarity what's going on for Virgo and a significant other. Okay, there is an element of satisfaction in that in which you do when it comes to this relationship. It's as though you've chosen from a great deal of other possibilities, and as you cast away the realm of expectation, of disbelief, you choose one of them. It doesn't seem like there's something very special about that in which you've chosen, but because of the wealth of choices and the number of options and possibilities that may have seemed infinite, you choosing a situation such as this provides a sense of satisfaction. It's like dipping your toes into a great infinite sea or something like this, still water. What I see here is the effect of the Six of Cups, which actually showed up for you earlier in your karma reading. The Six of Cups usually indicates a very strong affinity between two people. There also is the element of the past, what has gone by in terms of a dream or something, a strong connection, something very authentic. You represent this to this person. At the same time, they are dealing with something outside of your situation that that shows that essentially that they are quite busy with something else. There's something about them on a deeper level that produces the effect of Neptune. There's a lot of mystery about this connection, but there also is a gravitas, a strong pull to one another. We have here on the conscious level Femme en Place, which is the Queen of Cups in reverse right here. And with this, there is a possibility of great potential, but not an offer in terms of what you do. In fact, if what you actually offered was something, there would be a sense of regret in actually doing so. Meaning that the sort of emotional or the empathic connection is quite strong. You provide this person with fertility, but are wise enough not to actually do anything about it. And therefore, the femme is en place. And we have the femme brune here. There is something about meeting an equal of some sort when it comes to the elements of earth and water, and this produces the effect of mystery in some way. because you provide essentially a sense of fertility in that in which the Fombrun, the Queen of Pentacles, searches for. There also is a sort of narrative of evolution that is of growth that is being sort of held back, growth being held back in terms of their selves on the subconscious and unconscious realm. There is a need to produce the effect that the path is still there, regardless of what is holding them back or what may not be holding back. There's a lot of mystery into the possibility of greatness when it comes to this connection with the High Priestess here. So the bridge here has to do with Virgo. It has to do also with the 8th house, a strong possibility of the path being an obstacle or the obstacle being a path. And make that of that what you will. But because of the energetic sort of reserve that I find through this person, there is an attempt to grow, but then a curtailing of that. There is some sort of awakening and then a curtailing of that. Like they won't ascend through the proper systems when it comes to, say, the elevation of chakra, the wheels that spin throughout the vertebrae. There also is something here that is tied to the 4 of Pentacles in reverse on your end. The 4 of Pentacles meeting the Knight of Cups in the reverse, okay? And the 4 of Pentacles is in reverse. So there's something about, let's see here, it would be the 4. About you trying to give, but not being able to sustain your own self when it comes to your own resources when you do attempt to give. You are motivated primarily through the hidden aspects of the moon, the dark moon, by new moon cycles when it comes to this situation. So pay attention to the new moon as it will bring forward a welling up of empathic capacity with this person, and it might reach them in some way, shape, or form, whatever you feel. At the same time, there's something that has to do with the 9 so the 5 of Pentacles and the South Node, okay? So coming from a place of the past, there seems to be something about this type of situation that harkens back to the sort of the way that, say, God would look at Adam and Eve as being cast out from the garden, okay, for example. And because of the influence of the Moon and Mercury and the South Node here, and the 5 of Pentacles, there's this feeling that being cast out leads the children of God into the children of man, into the path of the empty path. This path is very cold, it's very dry. At the same time, it's influenced by a natural belonging to something else that was once quite beautiful in terms of the belonging in the Garden of Eden, you know, the very experimental realm where things all began, where there was this affinity for the 6 of Cups naturally for everyone. The thing is that because of such, the 4 negating the 4 and then the 5 Pentacles coming out with the South Node, there's a great propensity for intense feelings, intensities, projections, pensiveness, okay, when it comes to dealing with this person. So it is advised to get a hold of your emotions when it comes to how deep this may go. This also speaks of the sort of the missing out on something that you both may feel like you know what it is, what you're missing out on, but not being able to fully disclose what that is truly. Look to the elements of power. How is power sustained? How is it translated? How is it expressed? Is it expressed in the passive way? Is it more aggressive in nature? How do you sort of meet this person in terms of the great pair here? We have the King and the Queen of Cups. We have the King and the Queen of Pentacles here within the mirror. So this has to do with the power dynamic. It has to do with the Saturnian complex to make with the King of Pentacles that showed up earlier, make yourself into someone who has authority, who can do things in terms of their own resourcefulness, who can create order out of chaos, let's call it that. But still, I'm seeing here, it's like a river swimming upstream on a river, or like difficulty in the path of Adam and Eve. That's the best I can do for the time being. God blast this Mercury retrograde. We have Humboldt et Severe as a card of advice. The advice is let loose passions, to become passionless in that in which you do. Passion is different from empathy, and there's an ability to receive that in which you already have by actually being aware of what is there. So there's an ability to let loose the rod of truth and the rod of righteousness, and to also become less severe, less critical on a situation such as this. Because I think this person is dealing primarily with something that they have had in terms of the mind, in terms of their mind, what they do in terms of their community, and their friend system. They're trying to balance themselves out in terms of practicalities. So that's important. At the same time, there's something here about meeting halfway, but it being very difficult to do so. This is the best I can do for this month. Five of Pentacles, again, in terms of advice. There's something about that Five of Pentacles that showed up. The actions that you try to do on something like this will further produce the path of loneliness when it comes to the social order in which both of you cannot operate in. Okay, there's an essence of integrity. There's an essence of doing the right thing that is very strongly underlined here, and it has to do with the past. Okay, so yeah, that's the best I can do. Please take care. Bye bye.